You talked about safety a little bit, but can you talk a little bit more about the safety of Wellmune? Is it something we can take every day and still be okay for us?
Sure. Another area I enjoy talking about because safety is very important to something that's going to be consumed on a daily basis. It's very important. Let's talk about safety from a couple of angles. First, let's talk about product composition. If I'm going to take